Time now to switch gear and talk about bunny rabbits. Fiona Murphy is our resident bunny coach, and she joins us now. Fiona, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm very good, enjoying my first day back in after 2 weeks off. Great to catch up with you again. Listen, tell me, grooming. Bunny rabbits and grooming, they are wild animals at the end of the day, although domesticated. How much intervention do we need to make into their grooming routines?
So we need to do quite a lot because their natural behaviours are changed because they're with us in the houses. So, for example, they shed their coat in the wild as well, but because of the way we have our central heating on and the weather is changing outside, the climate change and everything, they need some help with the molting. And they don't dig with their nails as they do in the wild, so they need some help to having their nails clipped as well in most cases.
So most of the grooming needs are as a result of our sort of domestication of them?
Yes, absolutely, yes. So if you imagine when they're in the wild, they're underneath the ground, they're going to the warrens to stay cool, whereas here they're in central heating in the wintertime, and then in the summertime maybe air conditioning if you live somewhere warm, and if not, then it can just be warm in the house. And so they shed probably more than they do in the wild as well, and they've no control over to control their own body temperature as much as they do in the wild.
So I know you advocate bunny rabbits living in people's homes, and you've talked before to us about how fabulous they are inside the house, but not everybody has them inside the house. A lot of people would still have them in runs outdoors. If a rabbit then is in a run outdoor, does that mean that they need less intervention to keep them looking and feeling fabulous?
It depends very much on the rabbit, and it depends on the weather. So some rabbits would molt more than others depending on their breed, and it depends on the weather as well. So if we get particularly hot weather like we had earlier on this summer, that can really affect their coat. So, for example, they reckon that they molt twice a year, but I think they molt for 6 months and then another 6 months. It just seems to be ongoing.
That's what your Hoover bag tells you, is it?
Yes, exactly.
So take us through then. If you do have a rabbit that's totally domesticated, it's living indoors, it's not getting any of that natural grooming from digging and snuffling and doing all those things. What would be your top three? What's the three most important things to have on that grooming schedule?
So definitely nail clipping is more important and more regular than a lot of people think. They should be done at least every 6 to 8 weeks, unless they're outside and they're digging all the time, in which case they might wear them down naturally, either through digging in the earth, or if they've got concrete and they dig on the concrete and walk around on concrete a lot, that can wear down their nails as well. Excuse me. But if they're living indoors, then the nails tend to grow quite long. They grow longer in the summertime. They're not wearing them down, and because their nails get long, what can happen is it can put a lot of pressure on their heels, and they end up with what they call sore hocks, which is like bald patches that can get red and sore and infected on their heels because their foot positioning is different because the nails are so long. So it's really important. And
do they like getting their nails did?
No, not a fan. Generally speaking, not fans of that at all. But I'm a big advocate in teaching a rabbit how to be picked up and trust you when you pick them up, and because of that they can be much easier to handle when you're doing their nails, and they can be, okay, we're doing nails now, and that means I'm getting a treat at the end of it, and they can be much more relaxed about it. If they're used to being picked up regularly, it can be much easier, but they don't generally like you messing with their feet that much, but has to be done, you know.
It's completely gone from my mind. What do you call a baby bunny rabbit?
Sorry, you broke up there?
It's completely gone from my mind for some reason. What do you call a baby bunny rabbit?
They're kittens.
Kittens, okay. So is this something as a part of their schedule every 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it might be, that you should be introducing to them as kittens so that they can get used to it?
Absolutely. And when they're small, their nails can be very sharp, even though they're not long. So it can be a good idea to tip them anyway when they're little, because they get some used to it, but also makes them less scratchy when you're picking them up as well. And if they have it done often from when they're small, absolutely makes a huge difference. They get very used to it,
So tip number one, nails every 6 to 8 weeks, particularly if they're indoors. You might get a little bit longer if they're outside or they're on something where they can scratch away. Tip number two.
Exactly. Tip number two would be when they're molting. So when they're molting, you nearly always have to do some grooming with them. So your rabbits, you should pick them up every week and check them over. And in that weekly check, you could give them a little brush. So they should have a weekly brush year round, really. When they're molting, you might need to do that every day. Or if they're long-haired or very fluffy rabbit, it might need to be done every day as well to stop them matting. But when they're molting, then the fur comes out in lumps, and they tend to lick themselves to clean and to lick that, and they can inhale it as well and ingest it, and that's not great for them. So they always have fur in their gut because they're rabbits and that's how they clean themselves. But unlike cats, they can't vomit, so they won't vomit up that fur and it gets stuck in their gut then, which can slow down their gut. I know we talked about that in the past with the gut stasis as well. So it's really important to help them out with the grooming, get as much of it off as you can as well. So.
And with the molting, is it literally just temperature changes that causes that, or is it hormonal, or what's the sort of, if, for example, we get a hot spell in the middle of October, could that set it off again?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. And ours are all molting really badly again now. I don't know why, because it's not as warm as it was a few weeks ago, but now all of a sudden they're just blowing the coats again. It can be hormonal, yeah, absolutely it can be, and it also can be an age thing. So we're finding with ours, we've a couple of rabbits that are 11 or 12 and they're molting worse than they ever did. And I think it's just as they're getting older. But also babies lose their coat as well from kind of 6 to 12 months of age. They lose that baby coat as well, so it's more kind of gradual. And then as they get older, then they do that more sudden kind of blowing their coat, and the owners sometimes have had their rabbit a year and they're like, where is this all coming from? He didn't molt that badly last year, and it was because he was a baby and he wasn't. So that can affect it as well, their age. And if they're not well as well, or stressed, those kind of things can make a difference too. There's a lot in it, really.
The third top tip, we've dealt with nails, we've dealt with molting. In terms of the grooming, what's the third and final tip that you'd give people?
Scent glands. So a lot of people don't know that rabbits have scent glands. They have scent glands under their chin, which is why they go around chinning things. They rub their chins on things, and that means that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. So they can rub it on you or on things. Yes, everything is theirs. But they also have scent glands either side of their genitals. So they have like a slit either side of their genitals, and that can get caught up with like a waxy substance which really smells. So sometimes people say, oh, my rabbit smells, and what it is actually the scent glands are blocked up. So they should clean them themselves, but a lot of rabbits don't, especially if they're overweight or they have like arthritis or something like that, or they're just lazy about their cleaning. So that you should look at those as well every 6 to 8 weeks.
And how would you be cleaning the scent glands?
Just with a baby wipe is just perfect. Just with your finger and a baby wipe and just scoop out the gift that's in
pleasant.
there. Yes, it's really not. But a lot of people don't know that it needs doing because it can get infected if you don't. So it's important to do that as well.
Well, Fiona Murphy, the bunny coach, thank you very much. Top 3 tips: nail clipping, of course, dealing with the matted coats that can come when they're molting and making sure everything's in order in that regard. And the probably least pleasant of all 3 jobs, the scent glands, needs to be checked over as well. Fiona, a pleasure as always. Great to be back chatting to you. And hopefully you don't have to change the Hoover bags too often with all the extra molting that's going on.
Hoping so. We'll hope we'll calm down soon. Yeah.
The KCLR Daily with